everybody, and welcome to Zermatt, one of the magical places here in Switzerland. And as you can see behind here is the majestic Matterhorn, total bucket list item of mine. And this is my first time in Zermatt, and we're going to go on a walking tour. The only way to get to Zermatt is with a train, and that train takes the visitors in about 15 minutes to the Zermatt Bahnhof, the train station.
Verehrte Fahrgäste, das Zugteam der Matterhorn-Gotthardbahn heißt Sie herzlich willkommen im Zermatt Shuttle von Tesch nach Zermatt und wünscht Ihnen eine angenehme Fahrt. Ladies and gentlemen, the Matterhorn-Gotthardbahn train crew welcomes you on board the Zermatt Shuttle from Tesch to Zermatt and wish you a pleasant journey. Ladies and gentlemen, in a few minutes we will be arriving in Zermatt. Thank you for traveling with us on Matterhorn-Gotthardbahn, and we wish you a nice day. Goodbye.
I'm now here walking at the Bahnhofstrasse, which is the main shopping street of Zermatt. It's a rather busy street with lots of nice little shops, quite expensive too. And you'll find all the iconic Swiss brands and international brands. Of course, lots of stuff is about watches here. Since we're in Switzerland, that's not surprising. Let's watch here. Blue. When you're in Zermatt, there's three major grand hotels that are definitely worth noting. It's the Montserrat, the Grand Hotel Zermatthof, and the Monte Rosa. The latter was the first hotel in Zermatt. Zermatt is a car-free village, and people get around with those little taxi buses that are electric cars, I believe, and those are the only vehicles allowed here in Zermatt. Behind me is the Matterhorn, the iconic hotel. Zermatt has over 100 hotels here and many chalets, and what's nice about the architecture here, it really blends in. You don't have those very super modern hotels that don't fit in the landscape. All the hotels are really tastefully designed and really fit into the landscape and the overall architecture and design of the Walser style chalets. You see those wooden houses? Those are the traditional houses that you can find mostly here in this part of Switzerland. If you're interested in more info in Zermatt, stick around to the very end, where I put together a bit of a summary on the need to know on Zermatt. Check out some of the side streets here. There's more shops here and some nice cafes and restaurants. So when you come to Zermatt, you're not going to be by yourself. It's a rather busy town, very busy in the winter months, and of course also in the summer. In the winter people come here for skiing, in the summer mainly for hiking. Although having said that, you can also go skiing in the summer here. Zermatt has one of the biggest summer ski areas here in Europe. 20 kilometers of slopes depending on snowfall, and the longest slope is about 7 kilometers long. And of course the cool thing is that you can all do that with the view of the Matterhorn. The Matterhorn is 10,000 feet tall. It's such an iconic mountain. It's unbelievable, and of course it thrones over everything. If you just look behind me, check that out. So the Matterhorn is really the star of Zermatt, and everything is kind of centered around it. There's a number of cable cars. There's also a train that goes way up the mountain, the Cornergratbahn. I took the fairly recently added Glacier Express. That is a fairly new cable car system that was designed by the Italian design agency Pininfarina, and That takes you up to the Klein Matterhorn, which is one of the adjacent mountains to the Matterhorn. And that offers you fantastic views of the mountain. But having said that, almost everywhere you go you get a great view of the Matterhorn, such as here, for example. Let me check that out. If you take a walking tour through Zermatt, you can easily spend half a day just walking through the small little alleys and streets of this beautiful village. And it's really so neatly kept. Those brown chalets in the Walser style, you find them everywhere, and they're really nicely maintained with flowers, and you get flowers everywhere. Come and check that out. Just a little bit of a park bench. Tourism has started here in Zermatt in 1860. That's when the first tourists came and explored this area for skiing, and it has really taken off ever since. Nowadays it's one of the most iconic and most well-known places here in Switzerland, both for skiing and hiking. Here's the old village of Zermatt. It's about 30 Walser-style ancient chalets. If I say ancient, they're about 500 years old, and they're well maintained. So how many days should you stay in Zermatt? I'd say, if you have one day, that's great. If you have 2 days, that's better. The ideal thing would be probably 3 days if you want to really explore all the various mountain peaks and do some hiking. Fortunately, I didn't have that much time with me, so I couldn't do that. Might be a good moment to tell you about my channel. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so yet. I post new videos on my travels every week. I have a whole series on Switzerland, so if you're interested in Switzerland, check that out. But you'll find many more countries on my travel list. one thing you need to know is, like almost everywhere in Switzerland, Zermatt is not a cheap place to come to. It's actually quite expensive. The tickets for the trains, for the cable cars, for the food, and even lodging, it really adds up. So this is something that you have to save up for a little bit. I think it's worth it ultimately, but it's not a cheap place to travel to, and it's just something to keep in mind.
Il est aussi acheté une web, ça.
museum. Since 1960, Zermatt is car-free, so you won't see any cars, but those little e-taxis that help the visitors, the travelers, to take them to their hotels and chalets. But you can't drive up to Zermatt anymore. The only way to get here is by a train. There's an express train which takes you to Zermatt from Tesch, where you can leave your car in a garage in about 15 minutes. And that is very convenient, a very modern train. And you may also arrive by train directly, and of course that's another option. So what can you do here in Zermatt? I mean, one thing is there's a museum in the central part of Zermatt, right next to the church, which covers the history of the Matterhorn, and that's certainly something worth checking out. But to be honest, if you're here, you probably want to spend your time outside, not in buildings and museums. The star here is the nature. So when you come here, go up the mountains, explore the mountains and the trails, go hiking, and check out the Matterhorn. There's good infrastructure here in Zermatt. We have all the convenience stores, Co-op, Migros, etc. And of course there's shopping opportunities as well for those who like to go shopping. All kinds of stores that you can check out. Alright, so that concludes my little tour of Zermatt. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please also check out my other videos on Switzerland. So much more to explore. And please leave me a thumbs up and a comment down below. And if you haven't done so yet, please subscribe to my channel. And also hit that notification bell to get notified of my new videos that I post every week. And I hope we see each other in the next video. Have a good one. Bye bye.